Welcome you to the 88th Annual Maxwell Football Club Awards, and as Kimberly mentioned, I have the privilege and the pleasure of serving as the CEO and President of the Maxwell Football Club, and along with our Board of Directors, all our volunteers, we thank you for joining us tonight to honor the game that we all love. The Maxwell Club prides itself on honoring the game of football at all levels. Those who play it, those who coach it, those who officiate it, those who administer it and innovate it and make it safer, and those who motivate us and take it to new levels. Tonight, we are blessed to have many of our winners from the high school level, the collegiate level, and the professional level, and along with those that we're going to honor for their contributions both on and off the field. We thank them and their families for taking time out of what we know are very busy schedules, workouts, and classes to be with us tonight. The Maxwell Football Club itself has a rich history and tradition and has been honoring the game of football from the late 1930s when our founder, Bert Bell, established the club to honor his friend, Robert Tiny Maxwell, who was anything but tiny. Standing 6'4" and weighing 240 pounds, Tiny Maxwell was a standout college football player at the University of Chicago for the famous Maroons coach Amos Alonzo Stagg. He later transferred to Swarthmore College, and after finishing his collegiate career, he played for the Massillon Tigers, the Canton Bulldogs, and the Pittsburgh Lyceums. He went on to be a college official and officiated both the Harvard-Yale game and the Army-Navy game. Tiny Maxwell and Bert Bell's vision for the club persists today as we honor the best of the best in the game. And we continue to be a pioneer where this year, for the first time in the club's history, we will present the inaugural HBCU Award for contributions to historically black colleges and universities. Our thanks and our congratulations go out to Coach Willie Jeffries, our inaugural winner. And Coach, we are delighted to have you and your family here to celebrate this special night with us. Thank you. The club also remains at the vanguard of football, where later this year, we will have a mini-max award celebration devoted to honoring the on and off-field accomplishments of girls high school flag football players from both Pennsylvania and New Jersey. We do this for the boys program, and it dates all the way back to the 1930s, but we're doing this a separate dinner for the girls this year, and we're going to be honoring 30 to 40 girls from each state with their own dinner, and that's the first time in the club's history for that as well. I think that's correct. This year we also worked in partnership with the NFL and the NFL Foundation, and for the first time we will present tonight our inaugural Girls National High School Flag Football Player of the Year to a fierce competitor on the field and a significant contributor in the classroom and in her community. Congratulations, Ava. We look forward to welcoming you and this award to the Maxwell family. Earlier today, we hosted a seminar for over 200 high school and middle school coaches and student athletes, and they got to hear from some of our former winners and current winners on leadership. We challenged these student athletes and coaches to become the best versions of themselves and to develop their unique style of leadership, which will serve them on the field, in their classrooms, and in their communities. And all of these programs and tonight's gala would not be possible without the loyal and generous assistance of our sponsors. You've seen their logos throughout the night on banners, you've seen them up on the screen, and our entire board and our organization thank them for their tremendous support. Lastly, we'd like to thank the National Football Foundation and the College Football Hall of Fame for being such gracious and supportive hosts. Kimberly, Yoman, and Megan, and the entire staff has collaborated with us as we planned for and prepared tonight's show. And we can't think of a greater venue to honor the game we love and our winners than these hallowed halls. So Kimberly, thank you again for being such a gracious host. We hope you enjoyed the evening, and without further delay, I am pleased to welcome our first presenter, Will Rollison, the Associate Executive Director for College Sports Communicators. Will?
Thank you, Mark. Good evening, everyone. How are you? My name is Will Rollison, and I am the Associate Executive Director of College Sports Communicators. CSC is the professional membership association for sports communicators and creators across the United States and Canada. We're the people who create and protect the brands of your favorite teams the content that makes you love them on a day-to-day basis. Since 1952, College Sports Communicators has proudly sponsored the Academic All-America program to recognize achievement on the field of play, in the classroom, and in the community. Since the program's inception, we have saluted more than 42,000 student-athletes with the title of Academic All-American across all sports, including nearly 7,000 football players. And we have inducted nearly 175 into our prestigious Academic All-America Hall of Fame for their performances and success and contributions to society following graduation. Each year, we honor more than 30,000 outstanding student-athletes with academic all-district accolades across all those sports. And from those, approximately 2,000 receive Academic All-America honors as voted on by our more than 4,600 members. 66 of these elite student-athletes are selected the Academic All-America Team Member of the Year in their respective sport and division. The 4 joining us tonight are the best of the best. They have been named the CSC Academic All-Americans Team Members of the Year in football in NCAA Divisions 1, 2, 3, and the NAIA for the 2024 season. Now, if you would please direct your attention to the video.
The best of the best earned the title Academic All-American. Since 1952, College Sports Communicators has honored those who excel both on the field and in the classroom. In 2024, only 0.02% of players earned this distinction, joining a legendary group that includes Peyton Manning, Pat Tillman, Drew Brees, and Patrick Mahomes. Tonight, for the first time at the Maxwell Awards Gala, we honor the 2024-25 CSC Football Academic All-American Team Members of the Year across all divisions. Division 1, Travis Hunter, Colorado. Everyone knows Travis Hunter as the 2024 Heisman Trophy, only the second defensive player in history to claim the honor. But off the field, the junior anthropology major holds an impressive 3.79 GPA. This season was legendary on the field, but academically, he made the Big 12 Commissioner's Honor Roll and the All-National Football Foundation Colorado Academic First Team. Division 2, Braden Long, Slippery Rock University. A 4.0 sport management major, Braden Long led Slippery Rock to the national semifinals, ranking 3rd in D2 with 3,470 passing yards. He was a finalist for both the Harlan Hill Trophy and the prestigious William B. Campbell Trophy. Long was also the only Division II player to earn one of 8 Regional Scholar Athlete of the Year awards and is the reigning PSAC Male Scholar Athlete of the Year. Division 3, Aaron Severson, St. John's University, Minnesota. Aaron Severson led Division 3 in completion percentage, passing touchdowns, and total passing yards, while earning Walter Camp Division 3 Player of the Year honors. A 3.7 GPA accounting major, he's been a leader both on and off the field, raising money for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital and serving on SJU's Student Athlete Advisory Committee. NAIA, Jamerson Chesser, Taylor University, Indiana. Taylor's Jamerson Chesser rushed for 1,174 yards and 20 touchdowns, leading his team to a 9-2 season. A 3.79 GPA film and media production major, he also dedicated time to community service, including a mission trip to the Dominican Republic. Congratulations to this year's CSC Football Academic All-Americans of the Year.
Joining me on stage to present this year's awards is Mary Beth Challoner. She is the first Vice President of our Executive Board of Directors from north of the border from the University of Toronto. So please join me in congratulating this year's Football Academic All-America Team Members of the Year, Travis Hunter, University of Colorado. Greg Long, Slippery Rock University. Aaron Severson, St. John's University of Minnesota. And Jameson Chesser from Taylor University. CSC is excited to have partnered for the first time this year with the Maxwell Football Club to salute the best in college football on this national stage, including academic success. We thank them for their partnership and their commitment to honoring all that is good about the game, and we look forward to honoring our academic All-Americans of the Year at this gala for years to come. And now please welcome back to the stage, Don McPherson.
Thank you, Will. So you heard a lot of talk about some of the high school award winners and what we're going to be doing with girls flag football. You're about to meet two very special high school football players. And we're going to start with Keelan Russell from Duncanville High School in Texas. And I have to give you these stats as a quarterback. He completed 70% of his passes in his career, which is amazing, but even more so if you consider he had 600 attempts. 70% of 600 attempts, 10,000 yards, 115 touchdowns, and 2 back-to-back Class 6A championships in the state of Texas. Keelan Russell is a stud. And we are going to have a chance to watch his career right now on film.
Some players rise to the occasion, others define the moment. In 2024, Keelan Russell did both, leading Duncanville High School to new heights. Russell commanded the field with poise, precision, and the ability to make game-changing plays when it mattered most. His arm strength, accuracy, and leadership made him unstoppable, carving up defenses and delivering in the biggest moments of the season. More than just a quarterback, he was the heart of a championship team, inspiring his teammates and proving why he's the nation's best high school player. Committing to the University of Alabama, Russell joins a prestigious list of former Alabama commits to win this same award, including Derrick Henry and Bryce Young, who both went on to win the Maxwell Award.
Maxwell Football Club, okay? They have players of the year, coaches of the year, okay? And you've been named the National High School Player of the Year by the Maxwell Football Club.
Tonight, the Maxwell Football Club proudly honors Keelan Russell, quarterback, Duncanville High School, the 2024 National High School Player of the Year.
What this moment feel like?
Oh man, it's straight blessings. Just playing from the youth ages all the way up to now, it's just nothing but blessings.
Playing Texas high school football produces elite talent. How do you feel Texas high school football prepared you for this moment?
Oh man, Texas high school football is nothing but really getting their field guys. Honestly, it's the best competition we've ever seen in the world. They prepare for everything, the toughness, just everything. The competitiveness is high. The standard is high in Texas for sure.
What I love about your journey, you're just getting started. You told me yesterday you were already loving college. What excites you most about the journey?
Oh man, getting out there about it. That's really what it is. Hopefully being successful in my dreams, getting a Heisman Trophy one day, and winning national championships.
You heard it here first, y'all. Congratulations again, Keelan.
Told you he got stud, didn't you, Johnny? I said that there were going to be two. And to tell you about our second very special high school football player, I want to bring to the stage a fellow Syracuse University alum, Philadelphia native, 2024 Pro Bowl selected from the Indianapolis Colts, and also an NFL Global Flag Football Ambassador, Zaire Franklin. Zaire?
Join with me, I have from NFL League Office, Player Development, Jordan Maiden. It's an honor to be here in front of you guys in a building that's so pristine. Just honoring and celebrating just the Titans and the Gladiators, a game that we love so much. The NFL's new initiative of pushing flag football to grow the game not only domestically but also internationally is just trying to give people the opportunity to fall in love with the game that means so much to us. introducing a young lady who embodies that more than anyone else is young Aiden Wallace from Texas. She is an amazing player. She represents everything that this girls' flag football is all about. The courage to compete, the courage to lead, the courage to be an innovator and a pioneer on the new forefront as we continue to grow the game. She had over 8,000 passing yards, more than 60 touchdowns. I wish I knew all the stats off the top of her head. I asked her, she said she didn't know, so that's the best I could do. But without further ado, the National High School Flag Football Player of the Year, Aiden Wallace.
In 2024, Aiden Wallace did exactly that. As the leader of Texas Fury Flag Football, Wallace dominated with her precision passing, quick decision-making, and ability to create plays under pressure. Whether threading the perfect throw or using her speed to extend plays, she was a relentless competitor who delivered when it mattered most. Her impact went beyond the stat sheet. With leadership, poise, and a fierce determination to win, Wallace set the standard for excellence in girls flag football. Now, she makes history as the first ever National Girls Flag Football High School Player of the Year.
I'd love to win the award, and I'm so grateful that I was nominated, but that's not the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal in flag football for me is to be a pioneer and help grow the sport so everybody else around the world, young, old, male, female, whatever, can enjoy the sport like I have. I just have such a great passion for it, and I think everybody deserves to feel the way I do about flag football.
Tonight, the Maxwell Football Club proudly honors Aiden Wallace, quarterback, Texas Fury Flag Football, the 2024 National Girls Flag Football High School Player of the Year.
Stay there. Congratulations. I mean, this is incredible. This award reflects all the hard work and dedication that you put into this. So what does that mean to you?
First of all, I want to thank the Maxwell Football Club for honoring me with this prestigious award amongst the most amazing football players and coaches in the country. This award goes to everybody who said that girls can't play football. It is such an honor to be up here, and I promise to the future and the now of flag football and football in general to keep doing it and keep putting in hard work and dedication, because that's what's been keeping me going. And I just wish all the best for women in flag football.
Congratulations.
Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure. So I told you about the high school program for the Maxwell Football Club that dates back to the 30s, the Mini Max program, and we honored 55 young men from Pennsylvania, 55 from New Jersey, and 44 from the state of Delaware. We picked a winner from each state as that state's player of the year, and then from those 3 state players of the year, we picked the Jim Henry winner. Jim Henry was a former chairman of the board for the Maxwell Football Club, and in 1985, the club decided that they wanted to name an award after Jim, but he wouldn't allow the club to do that unless it was more than just football. The person who won the award had to be a great football player, but they also had to be good in academics in their classroom and also a contributor in their community. And so we had that high school dinner earlier this year, and we awarded the 40th Jim Henry Award to Mr. Stone Saunders from Bishop McDermott High School. Just to let you know, Stone is the all-time passing leader in the state of Pennsylvania. And when you come to think about that, remember, Joe Montana, Dan Marino, Jim Kelly all played high school football here. So This young man had a tremendous year in the classroom. We presented the award earlier to him, but we wanted and felt that it was appropriate to congratulate him here tonight and recognize him. He's from Bishop McDermott High School in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and now he's the quarterback with the University of Kentucky. So please join me in congratulating our 40th Championship Award.
At the top of the show, Mark mentioned that this is the first year for the contribution to football at historically black colleges and universities. And there's arguably no better person to honor in this first year than Willie Jeffries, the first African-American coach to be named head coach at a predominantly white institution. He finished his career as a winningest coach at South Carolina State University and MEAC history. And I found out as I was doing some research, as you try to find a little nugget here and there, when I met him last night at the reception, he started talking about the freeze option, which was the offense that I ran. And I just thought, man, this guy is just geeked out for football. And then as I started reading through his bio, I realized he invented the freeze option. Which really just blew me away because I thought my coach did. And I'm like, nope, that's what you call a pioneer. And so it's my pleasure for us to roll the video and take a look at the career of Willie Jeffries.
In 2024, the Maxwell Football Club honored a trailblazer whose impact on HBCU football is immeasurable. Willie Jeffries made history at Wichita State University as the first African-American head coach at a predominantly white university. His leadership at South Carolina State University not only elevated the program, but also set a standard for excellence and resilience. Off the field, Coach Jeffries was a mentor and advocate, promoting education, character development, and sportsmanship. The HBCU Contributions to Football Award recognizes an individual or entity that has significantly contributed to the development and success of historically black college and university football, whether on or off the field. This award highlights the positive impact made on HBCU football programs and honors those who work tirelessly to uplift these institutions and their athletes. Tonight, the Maxwell Football Club proudly honors Coach Willie Jeffries, head coach, South Carolina State, the inaugural HBCU Contributions to Football Award winner.
It is a tremendous honor, and I can't tell you how much of an honor it is to be joined on stage by the niece, former Georgia State representative, and the niece of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Alveda King, to help us present this award.
Don't try to steal my trophy. Don't worry, it's all yours. What does it feel like to be the first recipient of this award?
Well, you know, to be the first of anything is special, and I certainly appreciate it. Being in the HBCU, we have 2 Division I conferences, the SWAC, Southwestern Athletic Conference, and the MEAC, the MEAC Conference, and they're all doing well, thank you.
I mean, I think you have the biggest heart of gold, and I think anyone in the audience can attest for that. As you look in the audience, what does it feel like to have all this appreciation for HBCU?
Well, first of all, thanks to all of you for being here. HBCUs, we all have about 50,000 living graduates now. When you get out of school and you're raising money in the 20s and 30s, getting married, raising a family. In the 40s, those kids are going off to college, they can't give too much. Around 55 and 60, that's when you hit them up. And our aroma of giving, and it's great. But I must recognize my first wife is here. married for 63 years, and my family been married for 10. All of you young people here, I'm going to give you the formula for long marriage. We go to dinner twice a week, dim lights, soft music, good food. She goes on Tuesday, I go on Thursday.
That wasn't right. This morning at the leadership forum, he kept talking. He was spinning it, man. And he told the young people, said, "Get your notes out. Get your notebook out." They were taking their notes. I don't think they took that one out. In 1999, Sean Alexander was the SEC Player of the Year at Alabama. He went on to 9 seasons with the Seattle Seahawks, where he rewrote the record books as a running back for the Seahawks and was the NFL MVP in 2005. Tonight, he presents the Sean Alexander Freshman of the Year Award. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean Alexander.
What a night. I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad to see you all looking sharp. This is good. I have the wonderful honor of being with the Maxwell Football Club and helping name college football's most dynamic freshman. The goal really is to one day want everybody to say, hey, Keelan, I want you to say, not win the Heisman, win the Alexander, you know what I mean? Get that one first, you know what I mean? It's such a great honor to watch 17, 18, 19-year-old young men dominate the field and be able to get in there and have great games. It's so fun, it's so special. I love being on that journey with them. This is the 7th a winner, Colin is. Our first one was Trevor Lawrence, did pretty good. Won that championship, first round pick. Kenneth Gainswell just won the Super Bowl. Will Anderson, first round pick, I think it was 3 overall. The 4th one was Brock Bowers. I think he's just had the greatest freshman, greatest NFL rookie tight end in history. Drake May, I think he might be 3 overall again. Caleb Downs, I'm not sure what school he's at. I heard he's going to his 3rd. Caleb Downs played great Alabama, won a national championship at Ohio State, and now this year's winner, another bad boy. He's going to be great in the rest of college. He's going to be great in the pros. We know in Herschel, so man, looking good. Let's watch Colin Simmons.
In the heart of Texas, a new defensive star emerged. As a true freshman, Colin Simmons made an immediate impact for the Longhorns, using his speed and explosiveness to disrupt plays and strike fear into opposing quarterbacks. In 2024, Simmons racked up 31 solo tackles, 9 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 1 interception, playing a key role in elevating Texas' defense to national prominence. The Sean Alexander Freshman Player of the Year Award honors the nation's top freshman, recognizing not just stats, but leadership and impact, qualities exemplified by Sean Alexander, the former Alabama and Seahawks star. Simmons embodied those traits, playing beyond his years and setting a new standard for future generations. Tonight, the Maxwell Football Club proudly honors Colin Simmons, edge rusher, Texas, the 2024 Sean Alexander Freshman Player of the Year.
Colin, first off, congratulations. What emotions come to mind when you think about having this award?
I'm definitely extremely blessed. Definitely nervous right now. But at the end of the day, I'm extremely blessed, and I couldn't have done it without God, my Lord and Savior, and my family and my coaches, especially Coach P. Sarkeesian, and I just want to thank Sean.
And you're the first person from Texas to win this award. What thoughts are you thinking about that?
I mean, there's many more people to come. I mean, I'm not the only great person coming out of Texas. Like, you know, we got Keelan Russell, we got a whole state of people coming.
You know what they say about Texas, everything is bigger. Facts, right? But your immediate success, looked so easy, but you know, that's not an easy thing to do. So what do you credit your immediate success to?
Like I said, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, God himself, and of course my mom. You know, I get all my talents from her.
Mom's are the best. Shout out John Mom. And John, it's such a pleasure. How cool is it to be up here with the man the award is named after? And this award is in honor of your incredible freshman season at Alabama. So tell me, how rewarding is it to be here to continue to honor the best freshmen in college football?
You know, I got to be a part of this because I was challenged. How could I give back to the football? How could I give back to the university? You know, being around great players like Colin and some of the guys in the past, it's a lot of fun watching them come from young men to great men, both on and off the field. So Colin's going to do great, and it's just great to kind of watch everybody come and go through this process.
Amazing. Congratulations.
George Munger Award goes to the College Coach of the Year. Here to present that award is another Philadelphia native, went on to Notre Dame, Miami Dolphins, and is currently the chairman of the board of the Maxwell Football Club, Sean Woodman.
Good evening, everybody. Marcus Freeman is the head coach of Notre Dame football, leading one of the most storied programs in college football history. A former standout linebacker at Ohio State, Freeman's deep understanding of the game and leadership skills quickly propelled him through the coaching ranks. Since taking over as Notre Dame's head coach in 2021, Freeman has established a culture of discipline, resilience, and excellence, earning the respect of his players and peers. Under his leadership, Notre Dame continues to be a dominant force in college football, blending elite talent development with a strong emphasis on character and academics. His defensive-minded approach, ability to adapt, and inspire have helped shape Notre Dame into a national contender year after year. The George Munger Collegiate Coach of the Year recognizes outstanding coaching leadership and success at the highest level of college football. Freeman's dedication to his team, on and off the field, makes him a deserving recipient of the honor. Joining me on stage to present the award is a very good friend. Well, friends, because two of them are coming up. Bob Simon and Mike Copeland of Bradley Aaron Law. Let's take a look at the video.
In 2024, Marcus Freeman proved what true leadership is all about. As head coach of Notre Dame, he transformed the Fighting Irish into one of the most resilient and disciplined teams in college football. The season didn't start as planned, with an unexpected loss to unranked Northern Illinois. But Freeman's leadership never wavered, and the Irish bounced back, winning the rest of their games and reaching the college football national championship. The George Munger Award honors the College Football Coach of the Year and is named after the legendary George Munger, whose leadership at the University of Pennsylvania left a lasting legacy in college football. This prestigious award recognizes coaches who build championship caliber programs and inspire excellence. This season, Freeman made history by becoming the first African-American head coach to reach the national championship. His ability to inspire and lead his players set him apart.
What's going on? An honor that for you have won the George Munger Coach of the Year Award nationally. Well deserved, and happy for you. I'm surprised. Remember our conversation after Northern Illinois?
That's right. That's right.
Tonight, the Maxwell Football Club proudly honors Marcus Freeman, head coach, Notre Dame, the 2024 George Munger
It's an honor to be here. I guess I get to be the first recipient to come and speak at the podium. And I first off want to thank the Maxwell Awards Committee for this great honor. I want to thank the George Munger Awards Committee. Sean didn't tell you, but he's a Notre Dame grad, so I think he had some influence on me winning this award. But I appreciate it. And I'm grateful to be standing up here representing what Coach Munger was all about. And when I did my research on Coach Munger, he prided himself on being disciplined, being innovative, but most importantly, creating the next wave of leaders. And that's something that I believe strongly in. And I'm in the presence of a lot of greats and a lot of great football players, a lot of great coaches, and a lot of great leaders. So I'm honored to be standing up here before you all. I believe I have one of the greatest jobs in America, being head coach at Notre Dame. I get to work with some of the most brilliant men and women every day. But most importantly, I get to work with the greatest young people that any coach could wish for. And that's why it's an honor to be the head coach at Notre Dame. I've been down, this is my third time being in Atlanta since the start of the season. And, the first time we played Georgia Tech in the Mercedes-Benz Dome, and we got after it when we won. The second time was the national championship game, which you all know how that went. So it's good to get back here and get a win. We needed this. I'm sure many of you saw the national championship game on January 20th and saw us lose. And I want to tell a quick story. I went to my room after that game, my hotel room, which wasn't far away from here, and the only person who was in the room was my father. My wife and her kids were down in the lobby, I think. I remember telling my dad at that moment, I'm like, man, I might just want to quit. I'm like, I might try to go to the NFL. I might get out of coaching and get to broadcasting. Because the thought of starting back over when you were that close was overwhelming. And I didn't know really at that moment, like, man, can we really do this? And so I found a way to fall asleep, woke up in the morning, went back and watched the film, and that's what gave me the appreciation of the journey that we went through this year. But in those small moments in that room, I forgot why I got to coaching. And to tell you why I got to coaching, I'm gonna go back to 2010. They found an enlarged heart valve, and I had to get out and playing football. I was with the Indianapolis Colts at the time. And I remember calling Coach Tressel, my college coach, and saying, hey, I want to be a GA, I want to get a coach. And he allowed me to come back, and I was a graduate assistant at Ohio State. And my job as a graduate assistant at Ohio State was to coach the boundary, this one position, one guy, the boundary defensive end. We called him the jack position. And I remember as we were getting ready to play Michigan, who was our rival at the time, I remember studying film and saying, hey, the quarterback is a spinner. For you all that know football, you know what I'm talking about. I said, when you see his back go to his upfield shoulder, because he's going to spin out. I remember just reminding him, blind side, upfield shoulder, he's going to spin out. Very first time he beats the offensive tackle, he goes to the upfield shoulder, the quarterback steps up and runs for a first down. And I'll never forget our defensive coordinator, his name was Jim Haycock. He said, who the hell is coaching the jack position? I said, Coach, that's me. He said, I know what you, who else would it be? And I remember when that player came to the sideline, I said, hey, you gotta trust me. If it happens again, go to his upfield shoulder. So it happens again a couple plays later, goes to his upfield shoulder, quarterback spins out and makes a sack. And so the player, whose name is Cam Hayward, who plays for the Steelers, runs to the sideline. I'm excited. And we go and we chest bump. And he knocks both of my front teeth out. And so that day versus Michigan, I learned 3 valuable lessons. Right? Number 1 is always own your mistakes, no matter how bad the butt rip is going to be. Number 2 was I got my greatest satisfaction, gratification out of seeing young people have success by seeing somebody else have success and you're a part of it. And number 3, when you're a coach, you're not a player anymore, so don't chest bump. So You know, I think back to the journey of this 2024 season, and as that video showed, week one, and I'm not always yelling and screaming like that, you know, those are signs of excitement, but week one, we're on top of the college football world. We go down to College Station and beat Texas A&M. And college game days there, everybody's telling us, man, you're on your way to make a college football playoffs. Week two, we're an embarrassment in college football. We lose to Northern Illinois. And I remember driving home after that game, and I'm sitting at a stoplight. I remember something telling me, count the days from when we started fall camp to this loss. And it happened to be 40 days. And, you know, being a part of a Catholic university and being a Christian myself, 40 is an important number. And it made me reevaluate, okay, what is this loss trying to teach us? More than the schematic things, more than the tactical part of playing football, there was a greater lesson. And what I really understood, it took us 40 days to learn how to handle success, right? It took us 40 days to learn how to win that big one, but it took us 40 days to learn how to handle success. And I remember telling the team on Monday when I met with them, I said, if we can learn from this valuable lesson of how to handle success, right, how to beat a team, no matter who you're playing next week, to handle that success and prepare the right way, this will be the greatest lesson we've learned all year. We went on to win 13 games and play the national championship game. The other thing I learned from that, and we learned from that, is to trust beyond knowing. I tell our players it all the time. As we prepared every week for no matter who our opponent was, we still had that little birdie in the back of our mind saying, you are the team that lost to Northern Illinois. We can lose to anybody. And so we have to learn to trust each other, trust our coaches. Coaches have to trust their players, and trust beyond knowing the outcome of the game that we're ready to go. And it's been an absolute honor. This has been an unbelievable ride. This 24 season that has taught us many, many valuable lessons. The last thing I'll say is that, you know, I often tell our players that individual success and recognition is a result of team success, right? And I wouldn't be up here if we didn't have a great season like we did. And this is the great example of getting individual recognition because of our team. So I'm accepting this award on behalf of everybody in our program that gave their all to Notre Dame, because that's why I'm standing here. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's about committing to being a part of something bigger than yourselves, and that's what this 24 season is all about. So congratulate all the award recipients again. I wouldn't want to put my recruiting hat on here. I'm trying to not put my recruiting hat on here, Keely. Some of you love it. You know, down here. I tell you what, man, maybe y'all never place in South Bend, Indiana. Y'all got to go back out, man. I tell you what. And maybe we could ask you to travel. Hold off going into the draft. Thank you again. Enjoy the night, and God bless you all.
You knew to get that recruiting plug in, didn't you? You know what, I love these, I said at the very beginning, I love these kind of nights, and as your MC, my job is to keep the program moving. And as Coach was talking, just like when Coach Willie Jeffers was talking, I get mesmerized, because deep inside of me, there's still that football player that loves to listen to that pregame speech, loves to listen to Coach, spin some wisdom. So, Coach, appreciate you. And congratulations, and I love that story about how it felt when I had the win and when you have to contemplate what the future looks like. I said at the very beginning that this was going to be a very special evening. There were a number of different elements that you've seen already. This one is particularly wonderful, if you will. Very special for the Maxwell Football Club. For the first time, the regional player, Andy Talley, the regional coach of the year, and Brian Westbrook, Regional Player of the Year are both from the United States Military Academy at West Point. So both Player and Coach of the Year, Regional Player and Coach of the Year, are both from West Point. With that in mind, the Maxwell Football Club is just very proud to partner with Operation Teammate to present this year's award. Joining me on the stage is Tim Montjoy, a 20-year veteran of the Air Force, who founded Operation Teammate to provide support and resources for children whose parents are serving overseas. Tim is joined by a few of these children they serve, making tonight a very memorable night for them and for us. Joining me also on the stage is Villanova's all-time winningest coach and member of the College Football Hall of Fame and namesake for the Andy Talley Regional Coach of the Year, Coach Andy Talley from Villanova. Two men that we honor tonight, Bryson Daly, quarterback at Army, and head coach Jeff Monken. They did and embodied everything that is Army and everything that is college football. These two men led Army to a 12-2 season and a victory in the Independence Bowl, which was just an extraordinary season for Army football this year. Let's take a look at the video of their extraordinary season.
In a season defined by discipline, resilience, and historic achievement, two leaders stood at the forefront of Army football's success. Quarterback Bryson Daly wasn't just the commander of the Black Knights offense, he was its driving force. A fearless leader, a poised passer, and an unwavering competitor, he set the tone for his team with toughness and determination. Whether making a clutch play under pressure or fighting through defenders for extra yards, Daly's leadership helped Army reach new heights, securing the first 12-win season in school history. Guiding the program from the sidelines was head coach Jeff Monken, a leader whose impact goes beyond the X's and O's. Monken's philosophy is built on discipline, unity, and relentless effort, and his ability to bring out the best in his players propelled Army to unprecedented success. His leadership earned him the prestigious 2024 Buddy Stevens Award for Innovation in Coaching, recognizing his forward-thinking approach to the game. The Brian Westbrook Regional Player of the Year Award honors athletes who inspire through performance, leadership, and heart. Qualities Daly exemplified every time he stepped onto the field. The Andy Talley Regional Coach of the Year Award, named after a coaching legend who built a championship program in Villanova, celebrates coaches like Monken who inspire their teams to greatness. Tonight, the Maxwell Football Club proudly honors Bryson Daly, quarterback, and Jeff Monken, head coach, United States Military Academy, the 2024 Brian Westbrook Regional Player of the Year, and the 2024 Andy Talley Regional Coach of the Year.
Moments like this don't happen often. Describe what emotions you're feeling.
Just completely honored and humbled to be around such great players, past and present. Getting to meet, the likes of, Herschel Walker, the current players out here. This is awesome. So just extremely humbled to be here.
This reward reflects the impact that you've had at West Point. Tell me how much pride you have in representing this program.
Yeah, me being up here is just a testament to the guys I had around me this year. The Joe Moore offensive line, best offensive line in the country. Great coaching staff, obviously. Great players around me, and just extremely honored to be able to represent West Point, represent our country. Just a great honor.
Congratulations. here being honored for all the hard work and dedication you put into the season. So just tell me how proud you are.
Well, I'm proud of our players, and a lot of the success has to do with Bryson Daly. 32 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. That's a lot of touchdowns by one person. The most in college football history by a quarterback, so he meant so much to our success. But as he mentioned, a great offensive line, but a great team. We just had a great bunch of guys that are tough and play hard. I'm really proud of them. And every individual award is just a byproduct of team success.
And your athletes at West Point, there's a much bigger reason, a bigger purpose that they move on in their futures. What do you hope your athletes learn and take away from you as they move on into their future?
Just the values of duty, honor, country. Those are three hallowed words, as General Douglas MacArthur called them, the values of Army West Point. And I think it just teaches us to do our job, to do our very best, and to do it in a way that is something bigger than ourselves and honors other people. So that you can name.
Special. The Francis Reds Bagnell won the Maxwell Award in 1950. He's a member of the College Football Hall of Fame, went to the University of Pennsylvania, and he's a past president of the Maxwell Football Club. To present the Bagnell Award, the grandson of Reds Bagnell, Bill Bagnell, is joined by Sports Information Director at the University of Texas, John Bianco. Gentlemen.
What an honor and blessing it is to introduce a mentor, a great friend, and a College Football Hall of Famer, Mac Brown, as this year's Reds Bagnell Award winner. I first met Mac 3 decades ago and had a front row seat to the impact he has had on our great sport. Of course, there's the 288 victories, 7th most in FBS history, the All-Americans, NFL draft picks, and your 3 Longhorn Maxwell Award winners, Ricky Williams, Vince Young, and Cole McCoy. His 158 victories at Texas are second only to his mentor, Darryl Royal, who is among a long list of legends who have received this prestigious award. Those achievements, and many more, will forever be in the record books. But it's the man Coach Brown is, the class, integrity, lifelong joy he has brought to football, and all of us involved in it, that is his legacy. I'll never forget the scene in the locker room after winning the 2005 national championship when he told the team, "I don't want this to be the best thing in your life. You have it, and be a champion for the rest of your life. But if you have enough about you to win a national championship, you've got enough about you to be a great citizen, a great role model, and a great father and leader in your family." Coach, that and all the wonderful words and guidance helped so many in your nearly half-century of coaching. And I know there's nothing that makes you feel prouder than seeing the men they've become. Personally, nobody had a bigger impact on my life, professionally, than Mac and his incredible wife, Sally. It's my honor to be here with them tonight and to introduce this year's Bagnell Award winner, Mac Brown. And I'm joined on stage with Bill Bagnell.
We honor a coach whose contributions to the game of football go beyond wins and losses. Mac Brown's impact on the sport spans decades, from his transformative tenure in Texas, where he led the Longhorns to their first national championship in 30 years, to his remarkable work in North Carolina, where he rejuvenated the program with passion, commitment, and a focus on developing not just players, but people. His time at Appalachian State and Tulane laid the foundation for a coaching career defined by innovation and success. This evening, we also celebrate the legacy of Reds Bagnell, whose name graces his prestigious award, which is presented to coaches who demonstrate a similar level to leadership, impact, and excellence in the game. A standout player and coach, Bagnell's contributions to college football and his ability to inspire players and coaches alike are still felt today. Coach Brown's legacy is marked by his leadership, integrity, and ability to inspire those around him. Tonight, the Maxwell Football Club proudly honors Coach Mac Brown, head coach of Texas, the 2024 Red Back Up of the Year.
Thank you very much. It made me think as I'm watching me dance after a win that Sally said, how embarrassing. Gosh, that's awful. You have no ability to dance whatsoever. Choose right. Tonight I think about being grateful. Long time career, 50 years, and all the things that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for the Maxwell, for the Big Nail Award, for honoring all of the players and coaches who I have worked with. What a blessing to be around so many. I'm honored tonight to be included with all these honorees. Young coaches like Jeff and Marcus, and all the great things they've got to have, these tremendous young athletes. Oh my gosh. And to even think about and get to hang out with Willie Jeffries tonight. Coach Jeffries is a guy that I've admired for so long. And just to think about what you want to do with your life is make change. Think about being the first man of color to coach at a white university and walking in for that first speech and talking to the media that first day. And I can't imagine, Coach, what you did to change our world for all of us. And we appreciate you so much. And all you've done. It was a wonderful game. We're still not there yet, but because of you, we're way ahead of where we might have been. And for you to see Marcus standing there on the sideline for a national championship game had to make you feel really, really good, because you're a lot of the reason that could happen. And then you think about what we're grateful for. I'm grateful for Sally, my wife, because the wives of coaches, they have it tough. She couldn't even eat on Saturdays. I didn't even know it. She'd be so nervous, she'd take a banana, eat a little banana just so she wouldn't dehydrate during the game. She was so nervous. And Phil Nicholson was at the national championship game sitting next to Sally, and she was so nervous, and Phil said, gosh, I never thought about Amy feeling that way while I was playing golf. I'm going to go buy her a ring. So thank you, Sally, for all you've done to be by my side and help so much. John Bianco, our Director of Communications, for all of you who are here tonight that are in the media, Director of Communications. John's so important and so valuable to Colin and the football players, student athletes that he's been around. They don't get paid, they don't get noticed, they don't get appreciation unless there's something bad that happens. But you got to be grateful for all of the staff, because it takes so many people to put a great program together as you look forward. And then I thought about relationships. Billy Graham said a coach changes more lives in a year than the average person does in a lifetime. And that's what it's about. It's about relationships. And we got to remember, with transfer portal, with NIL, it's still about relationships. Coach Royal was a mentor of mine, and he was like an older brother to me at University of Texas. He won 3 national championships, and he got to mention. And I asked him to come and be a voluntary coach right as he was at the early points of dimension. He was on the field, and he flipped the coin. He came over. I said, thank you, Coach. And he said, Coach, where am I? Because I didn't even know where he was. I said, Coach, you're in your stadium. It's named after you. He said, who's playing? I said, Texas is playing Wyoming, Coach. He said, which is Texas? I said, they're in the burnt orange jerseys, the ones that you made, Coach. He said, And then he'd put him in a home, and I'd go to see him about every other day, and Sally and I'd be over there. He didn't know how many games he won. He didn't know how many national championships he had won. He didn't know the stadium was named after him, but he knew every ex-player's name when they walked in the room. It's the most unbelievable thing that I've ever seen in my life. So I realized what's important in our lives are relationships. That's what's important. When they bury us, they're not going to give us our money. They're not going to give us our trophies. They're not going to give us all of our accolades. It's going to be about family and friends and the relationships that we've made. We also lost a player this year, a 21-year-old to cancer. And he'd been dying for 2.5 years, and we watched him die. And it was really interesting at midseason. He died in the second quarter of a game about midseason.
And at the funeral, I sat there and I listened to the minister say, you know what? If you're healthy and your family's healthy, you have no problems. You have no problems, because if somebody tells you you're going to die in 3 weeks, you drop all those problems. So what I'd like to say tonight is I am so grateful for my life, for my friends, for all of the players and coaches I have worked with through the years. I can't wait to watch you young people, coaches and players just thrive and continue to grow and get better. But I would like to leave it with every night before we go to bed, let's make sure we're grateful for what we've got and not griping about what we don't. Every morning when we get up, let's make sure we're grateful for what we've got and not griping about what we don't. Because we control a lot of things, but we don't control how long we've got left. So let's make sure that we're happy and grateful in the time that we have. And when it does come to an end, we can say we did this right with a smile on our face. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Coach. That was awesome. Just a word of note that the silent auction will be closing within about the next 10 minutes. So if you have an item that you're out there bidding on, please remember to take a look at that item. It's now time for the Chuck McDermott Defensive Player of the Year Award. And to introduce that award is a guy that I love seeing every year. He shows up every year at the Maxwell at the Walter Camp. He's a great steward of the game of football. He's a 1980 Maxwell Award winner and the first and only 2 defensive players to win the College Football Player of the Year. My friend Hugh Green. Hugh?
Thank you. We're in a very overtook type of atmosphere with us, with myself and Don. We've been a part of this foundation for a long time. We get the chance to meet coaches, players, people, and it is such an honor that they invite us back and we've become this ultimate family. So with that, in your one visit or the different times that you are visiting here, we welcome you to be a part of our family also and hope you enjoy yourself. With that, the Chuck McDermott Award is to defensive players. We have a very unique one. He plays both ways, but to hone the skills and do the amount of plays that he do is new fab athletes. They don't make them like that anymore. We thought that we were the last of the Mohegans in our group and class of the old guys. They don't make them like that. Let us witness our award winner.
Some players changed the game. Travis Hunter redefined it. A rare two-way star in modern football, Hunter didn't just play, he dominated on both sides of the ball, proving himself as one of the most complete athletes the sport has ever seen. But in 2024, it was his defensive prowess that set him apart. A shutdown corner with elite instincts, Hunter blanketed receivers, disrupted passing lanes, and turned defense into an art form. His ability to lock down the nation's best, paired with his explosive playmaking, made him a nightmare for opposing offenses. His impact wasn't just felt on defense. His all-around dominance earned him the 2024 Heisman Trophy, making him one of the most unique and electrifying players in college football history.
24 Heisman Award goes to Travis Hunter.
The Van Erich Award honors the most outstanding defensive player in the country, and this year, there was no question. named after legendary two-way player Chuck Bednarik, who was known for his fierce play and leadership on both sides of the ball. The award reflects the excellence and intensity that Bednarik embodied throughout his career.
This is the way you go after me. Father from the rock. You know, I got a coach and I went up to him. I said, you son of a bitch. I gave him a shot. He went down. Burt Bell fined me $500 and he said, I want you to apologize to that boy.
Tonight, the Maxwell Football Club proudly honors the electrifying talent Travis Hunter, corner, Colorado, the 2024 Chuck Bednarik Award.
The award is one of the heaviest Maxwell Football awards. Do you have a shelf heavy enough or strong enough to fit that and the Heisman?
I do got a lot of awards, so I got a shelf.
I love it, but you've proven yourself time and time again. What does it mean to you receiving this award, and how does it add to all that you've accomplished in your college football career?
It's a blessing. You know, my family helped me get this far. You know, Coach Mack is my coach. He's a back coach. He's been with me for 3 years, you know, helping me out, learning defense, learning plays. So it's been a real blessing. You know, my teammates helped me get to this point, so I'm going to shout it out.
Everyone sees the big plays, the highlights, but what is something that they don't see that plays a big role in your success?
Me and Coach Matthews in the meeting rooms after practice, you know, studying and trying to learn new things from him since he was in the NFL for 10 years. So, you know, just getting the game of knowledge from him is very special.
Appreciate you, Travis. Congratulations.
Sometimes you have to tell young men to smile. You know, tell them to smile. I told you earlier there was going to be some Philly flavor. This next award is named after Earl Greasy Neal. You want to get a nickname like Greasy Neal if you're from Philly. Earl Greasy Neal won two world championships in 1948 and 1949. Our next honoree, the Pro Coach of the Year from the Buffalo Bills, Sean McDermott, is well on his way in that direction. He's the 5th coach in history to achieve 5 straight 11-win seasons. He's second all-time in his first 8 seasons. And I can tell you, as someone who lives in Central New York and watches a lot of the fan base and the people in Western New York and in Buffalo, just as Earl Greasy Neal kind of embodied the Philadelphia spirit, this man embodies that spirit of the Bills Mafia, the tough people of Western New York, and that team in Buffalo, I'm sure, is going to be on the rise, especially Coach, because your quarterback has got a whole lot of money, so he better produce for you. Let's take a look at the career and season of Coach Sean McDermott.
In 2024, Sean McDermott proved that true leadership is about resilience, consistency, and the ability to elevate those around you. As the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, McDermott has transformed the team into a perennial contender, building a strong foundation on defense, discipline, and a team-first mentality. Under his guidance, the Bills not only became one of the NFL's most formidable teams, but they also developed an unwavering culture of excellence.
Many years, but I'll tell you what, man, cherish these moments, because it doesn't happen every year, it doesn't happen everywhere. And cherish each other. Look to the man on the left, time to love it, man, time to love it.
His ability to adapt, make tough decisions, and inspire his players has propelled Buffalo into the league's elite, consistently competing at the highest level year after year. The award, presented to the Professional Football Coach of the Year, is named after Earl Greasy Neal, a legendary coach who left a lasting impact on professional football. Neal led the Philadelphia Eagles to back-to-back NFL championships in 1948 and 1949, establishing a legacy of innovation, toughness, and success that still resonates in the game today. The Earl Greasy Eel Award recognizes coaches who embody these same qualities of leadership and excellence. Tonight, the Maxwell Football Club proudly honors Coach Sean McDermott, head coach, Buffalo Bills, the 2024 Earl Greasy Eel Award.
We're going to do a photo, but I guess we're not going to do a photo. I guess Marcus is a lot more photogenic than I am. But no, I'm humbled and honored to be here this evening to share this night with you all, and particularly to share this stage with so many award winners, top achievers, athletes, coaches alike. It's truly humbling. And I want to start where Coach Brown left off with gratitude. I'm a man of faith also, and I believe that everything happens for a reason. I really do. And yes, this game is a game that we're all honored for or celebrated for as performers. But to me, the most important thing is how I represent God. And I promised God when I got this job 8 years ago that I would honor Him and do right by Him and the platform that I have. And I pray that I've done that to this point, but I also pray that I do that going forward, because that is the most important thing to me as a football coach, as a man. With that, I do want to thank some people. I need to thank not only the good Lord above, but also my family. As Coach Brown alluded to, it's amazing. People don't know what families go through, what coaching families go through, players' families go through. The life is at times glamorous, we know that, but there's also a lot of sacrifice and a lot of stress. I can promise you that. So I want to thank my wife. She's not here this evening, Jamie, my beautiful wife, and my 3 kids, Gavin, Maddie, and Kelly. Gavin is here this evening. Gavin's an 8th grader. I thought it'd be phenomenal for him to be in this environment and to experience the greatness, but also not only great on the field, but great off the field as well. So Gavin, it's great to share this evening together with you, buddy. In addition to my family, I want to thank my mom and dad, Rich and Avis McDermott from Lansdale, Pennsylvania. A lot of Pennsylvania people in the crowd, I understand that. I know Eagles, I got it, so a great year. And I also know, Coach Freeman, what it's like to come up short. Congratulations on a heck of a year. I think in Buffalo, we always hear about, hey, this is our year, this is our year. Still wait for that year, but it's coming, I can promise you that. It can't all hold us off for so long. But my mom and dad, my dad's the best football coach I know. He's going through some things right now, being sick. Dad, I'm praying for you. My mom never graduated. My mom never graduated college, but she is the smartest woman I know, and she has led our family with love and truth. It's amazing, at 50 years old, I can't believe I'm 50, I tell my players that all the time, like 50 years old, how fast it's gone. I call my folks before every game and after every game. So I need to talk to the coach, the real coach, and I need to hear from my mom, because she's the one that tells me whether I did right or I did wrong and where I need to improve. At 50 years old, it's amazing, but I appreciate their support and their love. My brother, Tim, who's the president of the MLS soccer team, the Philadelphia Union. Tim is my role model. And we wrestled growing up in the living room floor constantly, and we should both thank Mom and Dad and apologize for breaking all of Mom's vases, all our picture frames, and everything. But my brother was my role model, still is to this day, and he was the one that opened up the door for me to be in the NFL, and I can't thank him enough. So football, I believe football, especially life in the NFL, is what I know most, is a people business. That's really what it's about. And we've got great people in Buffalo, and we really are doing something special. When we took the job 8 years ago, we decided as a staff, in this transactional business that we're in called the NFL, and maybe now college as well, that we wanted to be a transformational culture. Really be different and do things differently, and in doing so, develop the whole athlete, the whole person, the whole player. And we've been able to do that. I believe in doing so, bring hope to a community that maybe lost hope over the years, over the 17-year playoff drought. And I'm thankful to say in our first season that we made the playoffs and ended that drought 8 years ago. I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for our owner, Terry Poole, and his family that gave me, a young kid out of Pennsylvania, my first opportunity. I'll forever be grateful to him and his family. I'm grateful to our general manager, Brandon Beam, and our scouting department. I'm a better coach with better players. It's funny how that is. Any other coach who says otherwise is lying, right? It's how it is. Good players make good coaches. And we've got good players. And yes, I know Josh Allen, and I love him just like you do. He makes me a lot better coach. I also want to thank my staff, my coaching staff. I learned many years ago that you're only as strong as your staff. And I'm very fortunate to have a tremendous team behind me. Not only my coaching staff, but our support staff and the whole building at the Buffalo Bills. And lest I forget, Bills Mafia was mentioned earlier, the best fan base in the NFL. You talk about home field advantage, you talk about an environment, a culture. Go home tonight and Google the playoff experience of the Buffalo Bills, and you will see, you'll get the chills before you go to bed. It's amazing. It is flat out amazing what we've been able to accomplish in terms of changing the culture. But again, it starts with people. And what we say are our two most valuable assets in our building are the ball and our people. And I want to honor those people tonight by telling them how grateful I am that I can walk side by side every day with them to get a job done. And I stand on their shoulders tonight. I want to thank the Maxwell Football Club. Very rarely do you go as long as I've gone and not maybe received an award like this or other awards, and I'm just extremely thankful. I really am. I'm grateful, I'm humble, and I'm honored. And I will hold this award near and dear to my heart for as long as I live. And I'll finish with this. 2 thoughts real quick. So at 50 years old, you kind of go through life's journey and you learn things. And some of you young guys, I tell my players the same thing. Like, I'm standing up here and I'm preaching, I'm talking, and you're like, yeah, like I was when I was in your shoes, and hey, this guy's old, he doesn't understand, and I'll never be old. Well, it goes fast. That was, it goes fast. But I learned this year a couple things, one of which, everyone thought our window was closing. The Buffalo Bills window was closing. Their time had come that they would no longer be what they've been. And I learned this year that all it takes is people committed to being on a team, a real team. And I told our players our advantage is our team. And they played that way. They acted that way. They prepared that way. And then all of a sudden we find ourselves in the NFC Championship game. And so the value of the team. The second thing that I think is important is, and I share this with our players, because it's so much a results-driven business. These awards, they're great, and we're also grateful. But I think the most important thing is that these players and coaches understand that they are more than football players, right? Their identity is not only in this game, right? Their identity is in more than this game. It's in their lives and how they live their lives off the football field. And again, that's why we've become this transformational culture that we have and hold in Buffalo so true and dear to our hearts. And then lastly is this, and this comes from my mom and dad, and I still hear it to this day. Always remember who you are. Because this world is going to try and change you. People are going to doubt you. They're going to question you. Always remember who you are. Always remember where you came from. At 50 years old, I still hear that from my mom and dad. Sean, don't forget where you came from. And lastly, know that you can accomplish anything that you put your mind to. Anything at all, you can accomplish it if you put your mind to it. Thanks again. Have a good night.
Wanted me out of the show. The coach briefly mentioned Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl and an outstanding, incredible performance of Saquon Barkley. And unfortunately, Saquon could not be here this evening. However, in true Maxwell fashion, we know where he lives. So take a look at the video.
Power, speed, playmaking. In 2024, Saquon Barkley took his dominance to another level. Joining the Philadelphia Eagles, he electrified the league with his strength, agility, and vision, cementing himself as one of the NFL's most dynamic offensive weapons. This season, Barkley was unstoppable, eclipsing 2,000 rushing yards. He carved through defenses with relentless determination, making game-changing plays when it mattered most. His impact was undeniable, leading the Eagles to a Super Bowl win and solidifying his place among the league's elite. The Burt Bell Award is a tribute to an extraordinary man whose vision helped shape the modern game. Burt Bell, the former owner of the Philadelphia Eagles and the NFL's third commissioner, was a tireless advocate for the sport and its players, revolutionizing professional football with his leadership. This award honors the Professional Football Player of the Year, recognizing those whose performance and leadership echo the legacy of Bell's commitment to excellence.
Hi, how are you? We're here to present Saquon with his award. Good evening, everyone. It's Mark Miano from the Maxwell Football Club, and I'm here with All-Pro Eagles running back and Super Bowl champion Saquon Barkley to present the 2024 Burt Bell Award for Professional Player of the Year. And Saquon, congratulations from our board of directors, all of our members, our guests, our volunteers, all Eagles fans nation out there, on a tremendous individual season where you rushed for over 2,000 yards and scored 15 touchdowns, and you led the Eagles to their Super Bowl championship this year against the vaunted Kansas City Chiefs. So I know we're not going to be able to have you in Atlanta next weekend because leading into the Super Bowl, I know you had a very important date with a very special young lady, and I understand that father-daughter dance got rescheduled to the night of our event. So thank you for letting us come by here tonight to present you with this award. And on behalf of the club, it is my pleasure to present to you the 2024 Burt Bell Award for Professional Player of the Year.
Thank you so much. One, to be the Burt Bell Award winner. I wish I was able to be there with you guys today. I want to say thank you to everyone that came to support. But also, I wouldn't be able to win this award without the help of my teammates, especially the boys up front, O-line. Everyone from the Eagles organization that believed in me and gave me this opportunity, and the help and the love and support from my families and friends. So I wasn't able to get one of these in college. I just found out I was a runner-up. You were, but better late than never. It's an honor and privilege. There's so many great names that attached to this award. I'm happy to be a part of that. So thank you guys for coming. Much love. Saquon, thanks again. Let's run it back next year. Go Birds.
Running back, Philadelphia Eagles, the 2024 Burt Bell Award winner.
It is a lot of fun, and you met Hugh Green earlier, and I talked about our friendship, and it's a lot of fun to see the guys who have won these awards and have come back each year. And as we get into the Maxwell Award, the big award this evening, it's just a great honor and a lot of joy, a lot of fun to bring up to the stage, back again, Hugh Green and Herschel Walker. Like sneaking up behind me just gives me anxiety. It is my pleasure to have these two gentlemen help me welcome the 88th member of this very elite club to a very special young man. You're going to see some highlights in a moment of Ashton Jeanty, and you need to understand that he outrushed 115 FBS schools by himself. The young man is special. But even more special was his decision to stay at Boise State when he could have moved around in this day and age of NIL and transfer and everything else. He stayed at Boise State and showed his commitment to that school and that community, and he's even endowed with a scholarship for future student athletes at Boise State. He's a very special young man. Let's take a look at Ashton Jeanty.
From a Navy base in Naples, Italy, to the oil fields of Texas, to the national stage, Ashton Jeanty's rise has been nothing short of dominant.
Just did a little bit of everything for us, and he just did it all so well at such a high level, and was such a great teammate for us.
A relentless force in the Boise State backfield, he carried the Broncos to new heights with a season for the ages. In 2024, Jeanty put together a historic performance, rushing for over 2,500 yards and nearly 30 touchdowns. A display of endurance, power, and sheer will. Along the way, he shattered Boise State's single-season and career rushing records, cementing himself as one of the greatest players to ever play on the blue turf. Defenses knew what was coming, but they still couldn't stop him. Named after the legendary Robert Tiny Maxwell, a player known for his excellence on the field and leadership in the game, the Maxwell Award celebrates the player who not only has great talent, but embodies the spirit of football through his impact on and off the field as the College Football Player of the Year. Jeanty didn't just carry the ball, he carried his team, his school, and the spirit of the game. His leadership, toughness, and unwavering drive to win define what it means to be the best player in college football. Tonight, the Maxwell Football Club proudly honors Ashton Jeanty, running back, Boise State.
The Boise State University, Ashton Jeanty.
What you've done this season and throughout your college football career has been truly remarkable. You just cemented yourself as one of the best in college football. What does this legacy mean to you?
Yeah, first of all, I got to thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. I wouldn't be here without him. And the Maxwell Football Club for this prestigious award. But, it's just an amazing honor. All the guys before me, just legends of the game. So to be the next one is great.
Every great player has a why. What has been the biggest motivator throughout your journey?
I would say my family. My beautiful family sitting in the front row. I grew up in a great, loving, caring family. They've all been there to support me and help me in so many different ways along this journey. And I wouldn't be where I'm at without them.
And you've touched so many young players' lives. What advice do you have for young inspiring athletes?
Yeah, it really doesn't matter where you're at. You know, I was, kind of at a smaller school, kind of that underdog guy, but out of it, I became one of the best football players in the country. So all that matters is your opportunity and what you do with it.
Well, thank you so much.
So you remember when you were a kid, maybe high school, maybe a little bit after high school, and there was a football player who was just so dominant and just so great at the game, and he was everything that everyone had just saw him walk around, you just saw his demeanor, you saw how he dominated football games, and he was always going to be that sports hero, that football hero. That for me, and there were many, but I don't think there was anyone more dominant in my childhood watching than Herschel Walker. And Herschel was just such a dominant football player and a dominant running back, and he literally took over games. It was just so exciting to watch him play. And so I am thankful that his teammate, Chris Hilton, is here to present the award to Herschel, because that is fitting, and his teammate from the 1980 team is here to present the Legends Award to the Maxwell football legend, Herschel Walker. Chris?
Thanks, John, but it's Welton, not Helton. I appreciate it. And as a longtime Atlantan, I want to welcome anybody, and all of you who are not from Atlanta, my hometown. It's great to see you all down here. And I'm here to talk about Herschel Walker. I've known Herschel for 45 years. But those of you who play football, my relationship with Herschel is kind of like my relationship with football. I played football from the time I was 10 until the time I was 21. It still dominates my life. And I was really close with Herschel for only about 6 months, from August of 1980 to January of 1981. But what we did in that 6 months was, again, one of the most meaningful things in my life. First time I met Herschel was not until the 1st of August of 1980. Back in the day, we didn't report for camp until the 1st of August. Some guys stayed up, went to summer school and worked out with the strength and conditioning coaches, but most of the team went home and then reported back in August. And the way we did it in Georgia was that the freshmen reported on Friday and went through a 2-day indoctrination, what to expect, what not to do, how we do things here in Georgia. And then the upperclassmen would come in on Sunday. And one of the things the freshmen were told to do was that when the upperclassmen arrived, the freshmen, we all lived in an athletic dorm back there, which is something completely foreign to all y'all, but 10 by 14 foot rooms with the same people for 4 years. You get to be very close and you have no secrets, but that's how we live. But the freshmen were supposed to come up and bring our baggage up. Now, the freshman class we had that year, to give you an idea of how good it is, Herschel was the #1 guy. He was the guy that everybody wanted. He's upstairs. The last guy to be offered a scholarship was a guy named Terry Hope. He's up there too. So, and we have a lot of great players in between that. We have a lot of great players in my class. Scott Warner's upstairs. Remember now, there are 1,000 people in over 150 years of college football play. So being in that august group is something really special. So I know I got to be quick here, but I want to talk not about Herschel with football players. You've all watched the films. You've all seen the stats. You've all seen what he can do on a football field. I want to talk about Herschel Walker, the teammate. When the freshmen had to come out and take the upperclassmen's bags to the room, guess who was the first guy downstairs? It was Herschel Walker. Guess who carried more bags up the stairs than anybody else? It was Herschel Walker.
Guess who did it with a smile on his face and never saying, well, I'm too good for this. And you know, back home, I was all everything, and I was on the front page of my hometown newspaper. Because when you get to college, and you guys have all experienced this who play, when you get to college, everybody's that way. It's time to prove yourself again. Herschel, as the #1 recruit in the country, came to Georgia to prove himself as the guy who could do what he needed to do to make Georgia football great. When you watch Herschel's films, I want you to try your best not to focus on Herschel. I want you to watch our offensive line play. And Herschel, I saw Herschel wrote about this in the program. He didn't get hit in the backfield very much. That's because when Herschel's in the backfield, your offensive line comes off the ball lower, harder, faster than they did for anybody else. When Herschel's in the backfield, and I play safety, I play defense, the defense plays harder than they used to do. Our first game of the season was up in Knoxville, Tennessee, on September 6, 1980. Herschel was the third string tailback going into that game. And you know, there's a big thing, there was at least back in the day, I don't know how it's done now, but there was a big thing about being on bus #1 versus bus #2. And you wanted to compete and be a starter or a regular player and be on bus #1. Herschel was on bus #2. Guess what, after we got back to Knoxville, Herschel was never on bus #2 again. Because we got down 15-0, our offense wasn't doing anything with the ball, we weren't moving it. Tennessee was a really good football team, but Coach Dooley finally put Herschel in the third quarter, and there was one play that's made Georgia football history where he runs a lead draw and splits 2 linebackers and runs over a guy who ended up being an all-pro safety in the NFL for a touchdown. And as somebody who was standing on that sideline 45 years ago, I can tell you it was like somebody ran a bolt of electricity through that sideline. And it was just, I looked at the guy standing next to me, who's our will linebacker, and I said, let's go get the ball back for that guy. So Herschel was a guy who wasn't just a great football player. He was a guy who elevated the play of every single person wearing a red jersey at home and a white jersey on the road. We all played better because of him. I'll give you one last example. I'll take you all the way to the end of the season of January 1, 1981. Playing Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl for the national championship. Herschel separated his shoulder separated or dislocated one on the first series of the game. But insisted on staying in, they did whatever they had to do to put it back in place and get him ready to play. And Herschel ended the game with 150 yards rushing. I'm going to give you a stat that Coach Bunkin, you're going to love. Herschel had 150 yards rushing. We had 127 yards total offense. do that math. So I got to give some credit to the guys on defense as well for winning that game 17-10 and winning the national championship. But my point in all of this is we stepped up and played harder and made the Notre Dame guys fumble the ball, caused 2 interceptions, caused a mix-up on a kickoff that we were able to recover. Things happened because we knew we had Herschel Walker. And just think about this. If you're a good college football player, I was a 3-year starter. I was all SEC 1 year. But when the best guy, the most talented guy on your team, the guy with the greatest gift for playing football is the guy that's carrying the heaviest load, the guy that's bearing the brunt of the tackles and the work and getting hit, how are you going to go out there and not give it everything you had? And that's what he did for us. Now, I'd like to say, I do know that Herschel's the greatest player in the history of Georgia football. I believe he's the greatest greatest football player in college football history. I will tell you this, definitively, he is the greatest teammate I've ever known. He's my friend and teammate.
Under the bright lights of Sanford Stadium, a transcendent talent emerged. Herschel Walker has been a legend in his own right. A powerhouse with speed, agility, and a will to win that redefined college football.
I'm not going to say I'm the best at it, but I guarantee you I get most people up in my head just about everything.
Leading the Georgia Bulldogs to a national championship in 1980, he dominated the game, winning both the Maxwell Awards and the Heisman Trophy in 1982.
For the University of Georgia, Herschel Walker.
With over 5,000 rushing yards in just 3 seasons, Walker set records for rushing attempts, rushing yards, and rushing touchdowns that continue to inspire young athletes. In the NFL, he continued to shine, amassing over 8,000 rushing yards and over 4,000 receiving yards, showcasing his versatility and unmatched drive. Beyond football, Walker has continued his journey of service and leadership. Selected by President Donald J. Trump, a friend of nearly 40 years whose connection began with the New Jersey Generals, Walker has appointed as the United States Ambassador to the Bahamas, using his platform to make a global impact. In addition to his diplomatic work, Walker has used his awareness and experiences to help others struggling with mental health issues, encouraging them to seek help and break the stigma. Tonight, the Maxwell Football Club proudly honors Herschel Walker, running back, Georgia, the 2024 Maxwell
Before any speech I ever made, I always acknowledge my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because he said if you don't acknowledge him, he's not going to acknowledge you. I mean, I kept knocking on the end of the men. And you know, it is strange because it's always embarrassing to stand here and accept any award in football because you know you didn't do this by yourself. And it's not about you. That's what you got to do. It's not about you. But I'm honored that my mom is here. And it is strange because my mom, I don't know if she ever seen me play because she normally would come to the game, but she stays in my dorm room or in the hotel room because she didn't want to see me get hurt, see anyone else get hurt, so she never saw me play. But she's here, and I want to thank her because her and my father taught me how to work. And what's so strange is I have 2 of my sisters here. One was on the track team in Georgia, and she was one of the first Title IX athletes that was at the University of Georgia. My brother and my brother-in-law Bill. But also I have my wife here, because God said when you're married, you're not one anymore, you're not 2 anymore, you're 1. And I'm a handful, because I love life. But I'm honored, and I want to thank the Maxwell Award, because I'm totally honored, but I'm embarrassed as well. Because Chris he's one of my brothers. And it is embarrassing to me because I'm from Wrightsville, Georgia. And you know, to stand here pretending I'm somebody. Guys, I'm just like you. That God just gave me an opportunity. And he is going to give all of us that opportunity. But we got to be accountable. We have to be accountable. I mean, stand up. You know, the coach said, remember who you are. And I'm going to just end this because I told him I could really make you mad. My mom got to get mad at me because I'm going to say this. Or I can piss you off by talking a long time. Or I can make you glad and just sit down. But I'm just going to say, hey, we do everything together. Together we stand. We're stronger together than ever. And I want us to remember that. We put Jesus Christ first, and everything will be all right. And God bless you guys. Thank you guys so much.
He's coming right at me. So Taylor, as we close off the evening, tell me, what was your favorite part tonight?
There was too many to count.
We gotta pick one.
Just one?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know. If I can you do that?
Yes, I can.
All right, you tell me.
I'm biased because I have a daughter named Ava, and I just love watching Ava Wild spin with her. She's been my favorite. There's a lot of talent in this room, but she's been my favorite all day.
I will say that, I shed a couple tears during some of those, especially for all the coaches. Yeah, there were tears. I was like, let's not have them come down, but truly inspiring night. And give it up for Don. What a great host he's been.
So also want to thank, you've seen young women coming from behind the curtain, and you pay no attention to the person behind the curtain, but pay attention to Molly, who was so generous and with her time, handing out all the trophies this evening. So Taylor and I just want to extend some thank yous this evening, obviously, to Kim Bowden and the staff here at the College Football Hall of Fame. Thank you for all of your patience and support this evening.
Operation Teammate for their dedication to the Maxwell Awards, and the Maxwell staff for all helping us out and making this award show possible.
Mark Wolpert brought his students from the University of Alabama and his graduate students who are volunteering. So I want to say thank you to all the students who volunteered, and lastly to all of you for coming this evening to make this evening a great evening. It's now 8:51, which is, I want you to know that anytime you hear that I'm going to MC an event, I will get you out before 9. Get home safe. Have a good night. God bless you. Thank you for coming.
Tonight's honorees on their incredible achievements. A special thank you to our sponsors for their continued support, and to everyone